You know our first guest tonight from his movie, The King of Staten Island, and of course his work on Saturday Night Live, which returns this week with host Elon Musk and musical guest Miley Cyrus. He stars in the Audible podcast Hit Job, available now exclusively on Audible. Please welcome back to the show our very good friend Pete Davidson, everybody.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Bro? What's up, bro?
Good to see you, buddy.
Elbow bumps. What's up, crew? Hey, Wally.
Is it exciting for you to see Wally?
I love Wally.
Yeah.
I try to steal his cue cards every night before good nights.
Oh, the last set?
Yeah, I started doing it a few years ago, and I successfully did it once.
Really?
Yeah.
But doesn't that seem to be a crime you're perpetrating on the host? Because they're the one that needs to read the cue cards at the end.
Wow, I guess I'm very selfish, then.
Last we talked this summer, you were in your mom's basement.
Yes.
I believe, like everyone who's ever met your mom, huge fan of hers.
Great lady.
Great lady. But
Yeah.
are you happy to be out of the basement? Although I should note, the basement looked pretty nice. There seemed to be multiple video game consoles.
Thank you.
So
I would just like people to know that, like, I bought that house too.
That's okay. That's a very
I set up it was sick down there.
Yeah.
Like people would come over and they'd be like, "Oh, this is sick."
Yes,
You know?
I think it was actually it was a service to everyone to see how nice a situation it was, because I think we use mom's basement
Right.
sort of to be derogatory, but in your case, I mean, that's like something everybody should be aiming for.
Yeah, it was really cool, but it was also, it's nice to move out because it's really nice to masturbate and not hear your mom like cooking,
Yeah.
you know?
Except for like a very thin slice of people.
Yeah.
Who it's
But some people, well, that was my fear, is like, what if that's the only way I can finish now?
Do you like call her up?
I'm like, hey, what are you doing right now? I'm cooking. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh no. We knew what it looked like.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm a very simple man.
Hey, we were talking to Che yesterday. Challenging season for SNL, certainly, but a really good season. Have you enjoyed yourself?
This has been my favorite season. The pandemic has kind of it really made me very appreciative of things. It was because it was such a kick in the nuts. And so I've been having a blast and just been feeling so lucky to have a place to go and work and be funny, because the world's so nuts.
And, obviously it's about half of what a normal SNL audience is, but when you were doing shows for, zero or a little bit more than zero, it must feel like a full house.
Yeah, it's like 50% full, but the energy's great because everybody's, again, so excited to be out, and we're having a really fun time.
You did a couple of Eminem-inspired sketches this year.
Yes, we did.
And there's one, there's another, and you got to talk to him on the phone.
Yes.
How'd it go?
It went, I think, as good as it could go. Those were written by the great Dan Bulla and Stephen Castillo, great SNL writers, and they and read, and Eminem said a couple nice things about me, and I of course heard them, and I reached out. I was like, I would just like to say thank you, and I just hit him up and said thanks, and he was like, yeah, man. He was like, you really did that. He's like, when I saw Stu on script, I was like, I don't know how it was gonna go, but after you did that, it was fire. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. You're the coolest. And then I just hung up as quick as possible.
I know that feeling.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't want to anything more.
You don't want to extend. When you talk to a hero, you don't want to extend it. If you're good, get out.
Yeah, get out as soon as you can. Yeah. It's like the stock market.
I remember my first year on the show, Bruce Springsteen, maybe it was my second year, I went up to him, and I did that thing that I know he's heard it a million times.
Right.
I just had to say it.
You have to do it.
Right. And I said, I just want to say I'm a huge fan. It's so cool to meet you.
Yeah.
And he was very polite. And he was like, cool, man. How's the show going to be this week? And I just said, bye. I'm like, let's not. This doesn't have to be a conversation. Yeah.
I didn't know you were that cool.
I didn't have a plan. Elon Musk.
Yes.
This week. I'm guessing by the day you haven't met him yet, or you have?
I haven't met him yet. I'm having dinner with him tonight.
Oh, that's exciting.
And Lauren, so I will meet him. I'm really excited, man. I hope I'm gonna ask him for a Tesla or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Be like, hey, it's Mother's Day's coming up. You know, my mom would, you know, it would be cool if, you know, you can get
Now, if he gave it to you, would you then feel obligated to give it to your mom?
Well,
Since you very much implied by that
I would
that it would be a gift.
disguise it as a gift for my mom, so he gives it, and then as soon as she drives it once or twice, I would be like, I would take it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
2 questions. Would you go to space if he asked you?
100%.
Would you get stoned with him if he asked you?
100,000%. That guy's a G. I don't know why people are freaking out. They're like, oh, I can't believe that Elon Musk is hosting. And I'm like, the guy that makes the Earth better, and kinda, and he makes like cool things and sends people to Mars.
You wouldn't be worried about going to Mars?
No, I mean, like, you know, after the pandemic, I'm willing. Like, I want to go skydiving.
Yeah.
Mars sounds great too.
Yeah, you know, Earth didn't crush it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Obviously, it turns out we're very susceptible to disease.
Yeah.
This is a podcast you did with the wonderful Keke Palmer.
Yes.
And you actually worked on this during the pandemic.
Yes, this was amazing because I was, you know, trapped in my mom's basement for like 6 months, and then Broadway Video, you know, Lawrence Company, and they started doing these Audible originals, and they were like, "Would you like to do one with Keke Palmer?" And I was like, "Absolutely, that sounds amazing."
Can you say enough nice things about voiceover work? I mean, it's the way to go, right?
It's the way to go because if it doesn't work out, your face isn't on it.
Yep.
You know.
That's true. Nobody's ever like, I can't look at that guy after his bad podcast.
Yeah, it's a great thing because like it doesn't matter. Not saying this thing doesn't matter, but if it goes bad, it'll be fine for me.
I mean, yeah, they probably won't put that on the poster.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not like known. I mean, again, like it's one thing to play Eminem. Obviously, you know, that's somebody that you are, you know, you're developing an impression of them whether or not you know it because you've been listening to him your whole life.
Right.
You also played Governor Cuomo. I'm assuming you did not have a Cuomo in your back pocket.
No, believe it or not, I'm not usually the guy they go to for impersonations.
Yeah.
On SNL, I've been there for 7 years. I don't think I've ever done a guy. Usually I'm the guy that they're like, hey, at like, you know, 2 minutes into the sketch, can you walk by in the background and be like, yeah? And I got used to that role, you know. As Wally knows, I'm the color brown on the cue cards.
Wally!
And I went up for 7 years, and I went up to Wally and I was like, hey, am I brown? Because like, you know, other people pick different colors or whatever. And he's like, no, that's just the last color we used. But he changed it for me this year. This year he changed it. He was really sweet, and now I think I have blue, which makes me feel better. But yeah, I found out like maybe that day, like 8 hours before, they were like, "You're gonna play Cuomo."
That's a pretty good. I mean, did you find? I mean, obviously you're regionally close to Cuomo.
Yeah, it's a New York. It's not much of a stretch. Again, like I'm not doing anything special, but like, you know, it's a pretty easy one to do.
This one is very exciting and also regionally close for you.
Right.
A little bit maybe more of a stretch. I guess the weird thing is you wouldn't think of Cuomo and Joey Ramone as the same, but the same guy's going to play him in a movie. You're writing a movie about Joey Ramone based on a book.
Yeah, so my pal Jason Orley, who did Big Time Adolescence, we're teaming up and we're just writing the story by, and then, you know, someone's gonna take it and turn it into a movie. And yeah, either a really great or horrible choice by a studio. And we will find out.
Now, one thing your burgeoning film career has led you to decide is the removal of your famous tattoo collection.
Oh, God, yeah. So I didn't think that they would put me in stuff.
Like the movie business.
Like movie business or anything. I thought after this SNL, I thought it was a wrap. But they're getting...
Wait, because again, you started SNL when you were 20.
Yeah.
And you thought it was going to be your last job.
Yeah, well, people don't realize I'm like kind of old. I'm like 27, but in Hollywood, that's like 40.
Yeah. That would make me 100.
Yeah, it's like you know, a basketball player being like 37. So no, I honestly never thought that I would get an opportunity to act, and I love it a lot. And it takes like 3 hours. You have to get there 3 hours earlier to cover all your tattoos, because for some reason people in movies they don't have them that much.
And you basically used your one sort of autobiographical type movie.
Yeah.
You used that bullet.
Yeah.
did King of Staten Island, and then you had to figure out how to
So
cover.
now I'm burning them off, but like burning them off is like worse than getting them because like not only are they like burning off your skin, but like you're wearing these like big goggles, right? So you can't see anything, and there's just like the doctor's in there with you. So before he goes to laser each tattoo, you have to hear him announce what the tattoo is to make sure if you want to keep it or not. So I'll just be like sitting there, you know, like all high off of the Pronox, which I actually quite enjoy. It's actually pretty fun. And then all of a sudden I'll just hear, "Are we keeping the Stewie Griffin smoking a blunt?" And then I have to sit there and be like, "No, Dr. G." And he's like, "All right." And just but yeah, if you're gonna get tattoos, you know, just make sure you really want it and aren't on mushrooms.
Because it's not, I think that's a really important lesson, is it's not just that one day you'll have them taken off. You will have to have them audibly described to you by a medical professional.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing. Are we keeping the owl that licks the Tootsie Pop? Yes, actually, we are keeping that one.
That is a keeper.
That one's a keeper.
Hey, buddy, thank you so much for being here. It is always such a pleasure.
Thanks,
congrats on the podcast, and more importantly, congrats on another fantastic season of SNL.
Thank you,
7
brother.
years, 7 years.
Yeah.
Hit Job is available now on Audible. Here it is one more time. There it is. And yeah, SNL returns this week with host Elon Musk and musical guest Miley Cyrus will be